your network, I mean, that's flattering for me. You know, you're helping me. You're spreading the word about my stuff. Okay, so retweeting is one way to get the attention of the movers and shakers. The other one is answering their questions. Let's say they ask something like, what's the best Italian restaurant in Seattle? And I can tell them, hey, check out this one. Or, you know, basically figure out what they need help with and help them. So let's talk about how you can do that. I'm going to go back to my home page. And so let's talk about, well, first you have to follow people, but let's talk about once you're following them, how you add these people to a list. So let's say I'm like, oh, let's find someone. This guy, Job Rich. So I can click on this guy, click on this icon right here, and I can either create a new list, but in this case, I'm going to click on add this guy to the list that I call people to really follow. Okay, because I'm following like 2,000 people, but I only have like 10 or 20 that I really follow. Okay, so once I added this person to the list, I can go to my lists right here, and I'm gonna click on the list I just added this person to. And here I see only tweets by only these people that that I put on this list, right? So I have this Chris Voss guy that I told you about. I have Ann Smarty, who's one of the most talented SEOs I know. So I have all these people. So let's talk about the two ways you can help them. You can retweet their stuff. Okay, we already talked about this. And this is very easy. Just click on retweet and click on this button right here. Very easy, right? And if I want to reply to their tweets, I can hit on reply and just, you know, type my answer right here. Okay? So let's go back to the presentations. You find who you want to follow, you follow them, you add them to a list, so you have all these movers and shakers organized in one list, and you help them by retweeting their stuff and answering their questions. The next cool thing you can do on Twitter is tracking given keywords to see when people talk about you, your company, your products, or your main keywords. So you can do this in a lot of different ways. You can do this with Twitter itself. I'll show you how to do it. I can search, for example, for Zig Camusio, right? This is actually my Twitter username. And I can save the search. And I can search for the outsourcingcompany.com, which is my website, and I can save the search. And then when I go back to my home page, I see all the saved searches I have, right? So I can check this list whenever I want and see what people are saying about me. Some people prefer to use tools like TweetDeck, Hootsuite, or Social Mention. Social Mention actually works a little different in the sense that you don't have to log in to see what people are saying about you. They email you, I think it's like every day, or, you know, as often as you want, every time someone mentions you or any of your keywords. Okay, so we talked about how to track your keywords. Now let's talk about what you need to track and what to do with that information. Some things I recommend tracking: your Twitter username, your website link, your company name, your name, and your competitors, okay? Because you want to see what people are saying about them too. And what to do with this information? Well, interact with these people. If they're saying something good about your company, thank them. If they're saying something bad, try to make it right for them. Now, let's talk about scheduling your tweets. And first of all, I want to talk about why this is so important. I'm going to go back to my Twitter homepage, and I'm going to wait for a couple of seconds, right? And so we had this guy again on top. I don't really know how this guy, you know, can pause every 5 seconds. He probably spends his whole day on Twitter, or he has a really good team to do it for him. So I'm going to refresh this page and see what happens. There's already a new post. Okay, and if I refresh it again in 5 seconds, there are going to be like 10 or 20 more. And actually, if I leave this for long enough, it's going to show me there are new tweets. What does this mean to you? Every time you post an update on Twitter, that goes to all your followers' tweet feed. Well, it's actually called a timeline on Twitter. So that's, see, like there are already 4 new tweets. This only happened in like 2 seconds. So as new tweets appear, the old tweets get moved down, and eventually they disappear from your friend's timeline. So what does this mean to you? That the more often you tweet, the higher your chances to for people to see your stuff, right? I mean, we saw this guy already, like in this presentation, like 5 or 6 times already. I mean, I'm not saying that you should do it every 5 seconds like this guy is doing it, but you don't want to do it like once a day or once a week, because people are not gonna, or you can, but just keep in mind that especially if your followers are following a lot of other people, your tweets will move down in their timeline, and they're not gonna really see them all the time. So a really good way to overcome this is using a tool like TweetDeck. And I posted a sample link here. And what I can do here is, instead of clicking on send, I can click on schedule this update. So I can schedule a lot of updates every like 4 or 6 hours or whatever. I found that 4 to 6 hours is a really nice sweet spot to do it. But if you can only do like I don't know, 7 updates per week, which breaks down to 1 a day, that's fine. But this is a really cool tool to schedule your updates. Like if you want to tweet in the middle of the day but you're really busy with work, you can do it this way. Let's talk about integrating Twitter with your website. These are a couple of ways you can do it. There's this plugin called Sexy Bookmarks. It's a WordPress plugin that not only allows for people to share your content on Twitter, but they can also share it on Facebook, LinkedIn, email, social bookmarking sites like Digg, StumbleUpon. It's really cool. Livestream is again a WordPress plugin that allows for people to put their feeds on their websites. And finally, you can have a follow me on Twitter button. And I'll show you how I have all these 4 on my own website. So this is the webinar we're doing now, and so this is the TweetMeme WordPress plugin, and people can just click on this and very easily retweet my stuff. This is the Sexy Bookmarks plugin that I told you about. People can just click on this and tweet this article as well. Here I have my live stream with my latest Twitter updates right here, and I have my link to my Twitter page right here. Okay, so again, all these are 4 different ways you can integrate Twitter with your website. Now let's talk about what I call the 5-minute a day Twitter marketing system, because I went over a lot, and the truth is we're all really busy and we don't have a lot of time to like spend hours a day using Twitter. So I broke down this system into like 3 different things that you need to do just once, okay, and I'm gonna go over this. Things you need to do just once, things you need to do every 5 minutes, every day that it will only take you 5 minutes, and things you need to do once a week for 30 minutes. So just once, integrating your Twitter with your website is something that you can just do once and forget about it. And find people to follow with TweetAdder. I mean, that's something you do once, and then you can just work on following these people, but you just have to find them once. Now, what do you do every day? First, you unfollow users who didn't follow you back after 3 days. And again, you can do this with the tool I shared with you before. Next, you can follow users who follow you. Okay, if someone followed you, you can follow them back. You can follow new users from the list we found up here. You can monitor your keywords to see what people are saying about your company, your name, your products, your competitors, and respond to this. And finally, you can help the movers and shakers by retweeting their stuff and answering their questions. All this is stuff we already talked about, but it's nice to see a little, system that keeps you organized. And finally, once a week, you can find content that you really like and schedule updates every 4 or 6 hours for the entire week. So the way I find cool stuff to share is I subscribe to a lot of blogs in my industry using Google Reader. You can use any RSS reader that you like. And then using TweetDeck, I can schedule these tweets the way I just showed you. And finally, have realistic expectations. Twitter marketing is great, and it should be a part of your overall marketing strategy. But don't think that just doing Twitter by itself is gonna explode your sales. It's just another way to communicate with your audience, to share great stuff, to make friends, and to get the attention of the movers and shakers in your industry. And this is a picture of a guy who actually doesn't have very realistic expectations. You can download the slides from this link right here. It's bit.ly/Zig-Twitter. Thank you. This is my contact information, my email address, my website, where you can find a lot more information about Twitter. And please follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. You can also follow me on LinkedIn and Facebook. So I'll give you guys, I'll go back here in case you couldn't write down this URL. And this is my contact information. I'll give you a second if you need to write this down. But you can just download the slides and my contact information is going to be there. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me, call me, tweet me. Any way you want to get in touch with me, I'll be more than happy to help you. And for this webinar, I put together this survey, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could, let me know what you thought about it. How could I do it better next time? And especially, I have a question in the survey where I ask what kind of topics you want me to cover for next webinars. I'm going to try to do one webinar every week and go over a different topic. So you can just use this survey to let me know what topic you want me to cover next time. So I'm gonna be taking some questions. Let me open this and see. Oh, by the way, you're using the GoToWebinar application. All you have to do to ask me questions